I ran into an artist who actually teaches at Raw right downtown here, Brandon Gorski, and I saw his work with graphic illustrations, and I thought it was pretty amazing. And I said, what can we do with this? So we kind of came up with this together. And, you know, some of the big Comic-Cons throughout the country, they can get, you know, really expensive, and they happen once a year. And for all these other artists and vendors, they kind of have an off-season where maybe they want to show more of their work. So also today we have a Lynn resident who was just unmasked, Calvin Anderson, who is a character in the comic book by Elliot S. Maggin. He is Lex Luthor's psychiatrist. So he's here signing copies of his comic and those pages. We have a ton of freebies for kids. A major thing that we like to do in the Downtown Lynn Cultural District is offer free programming and family-oriented programming for people of all ages, and really provide access to art and culture to anyone in the city and surrounding cities.
Elliot and I go back a while because I used to be a political activist in New Hampshire, and Elliot lived up in Kempton, up in the Lakes region, and he was known for being Superman editor. He ran for Congress, he didn't win in 1984, I guess, 85. And then he comes up over to the dinner one night, he says, thanks for helping me with the campaign. How can I help you? And it was one of those little throwaway lines because we had some wine. I says, ha, 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 put me in a story. He says, okay. Well, 6 months later, Elliot calls. And he says, hey, get the next issue. A few years ago, I went out to LA and he signed my copy. Calvin Anderson, the world-renowned criminal psychiatrist, the criminal rehabilitation genius, who cured Lex Luthor of his evil obsessions, who hasn't granted an interview in 20 years, and Superman says, would you grant interviews if you were over 100 years old? And then he hands the cassette to a reporter and says, take this and give this to Dr. Anderson, I'm sure he'll have an interesting story to tell. And this panel tells it all. The last story ever written about Superman includes me in the legend, and he could have made me a walk-on. He could have just thrown my name in, but Elliot Maggin chose to make me part of the legend. And I don't know how special that is. For years I shunned it. I was one of those I heard talk about a closet comic book freak, but we all know the difference in just being creatively immersed in our art.
You know, we have a lot of assets down here, but sometimes it might be a thing where people will come down, go to that one place and leave. You know, we want to show them a little bit more about what we're about, what we have down here. And making free and family-oriented, you know, it really invites families to be a part of all the wonderful things happening in the city, and I think that's important.
Since we're all in the business of suspending our disbelief and understanding that our universes, whether they be Marvel or DC or whatever universes that we conjure up, we are immersed in them. We're not fanatics. So I'm hoping I'm sharing this with you. If anybody ever kids you about it, tell them, hey, you just don't understand.